Hi, welcome to Business Influencers. I'm your host, Chris Salem. Hope everyone is having a great week. Again, if you are new to Business Influencers, you found us here at the TALRadio platform here at TALRadio.org. Hope you are enjoying many of the great content resources here on TALRadio, as there are subject matter hosts that offer shows around many different content areas, and we happen to be around business influence. We're all about influence and about whether if you're looking to, convince somebody about a new idea, if you're looking for funding, if you're looking to build your brand, well, you came to the right place, because that's what we do here on both an individual and an organizational level. And you could also follow us here not only at TALRadio.org, but also on our YouTube channel at YouTube for TALRadio, as well as Spotify, Apple as well. There you can find many of our great subject matter experts we've interviewed over the last 4 years. That way you can go back and watch as many episodes that align to what you're looking for in your situation. Today's show is being brought to you today by Alumni Direct. Alumni Direct is a new social media community platform dedicated to bringing alumni together from all different generational types and an opportunity to meet new people for the first time. Now, it is a membership program taking out all the noise out of social media. You get to come in and generate genuine and authentic relationships with the people you choose to interact with. If you'd like some more information about Alumni Direct, check them out at alumnidirect.com. That's alumnidirect.com. Well, we got a great show for you today. We're going to be talking about cashing out, the APEX method. Yes, for those that are on the journey to private equity, for founders that might be feeling stuck or overwhelmed by growth and decision fatigue, well, you are in the right place, as we have our subject matter expert here with us today, Alexis Sikorsky. He is a strategic advisor to founders who are serious about scaling fast and exiting strong. With a 9-figure private equity exit under his belt, Alexis isn't speaking from theory. He lived the entrepreneurial highs and lows across decades of company building, boardroom negotiation, and international leadership. His flagship book, which we'll be talking from today, Cashing Out, lays out the APEX methodology, a 4-part framework, which we'll cover what that means here, that demystifies the journey to private equity for founders feeling stuck, overwhelmed by growth and decision fatigue. Now, he has founded and scaled and sold New Access, a Swiss-based software company, ultimately closing a $100 million plus exit and transitioning into a new chapter as a special advisor to ambitious CEOs. Today, through his Sikorsky Consulting and Nightscale Partners, he works with growth stage businesses, typically doing $5 million plus in annual revenue, who want to engineer their next chapter or PE exit. And without further ado, we welcome Alexis Sikorsky to the show. Alexis, how are you doing today?
Hi, Chris. Thank you for having me. I'm honored. I'm very good. Thank you.
Excellent. We are so happy to have you here. And I guess where we would probably start with what you're going to be sharing with us today from your flagship book, Cashing Out, and learning about the APEX method. Maybe talking a little bit about your experience, like with how you did it yourself with your companies when you exited back in the day. And I guess that would kind of give us a great foundation and framework what you're going to be sharing, helping business owners and founders of different level stage companies that listen to business influencers.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. And it's going to be very interesting because the way I did it is the perfect, line by line example of how not to do it. And now I'm advising people to do it completely differently. So just super briefly, started a company in 2000 in Geneva, started as a bespoke internet development company. 2003 acquired banking software, turned around the company into being specialized software editor for private banking. That's a good deal in Switzerland because there's a lot of that. Started the company with my best friend, grew it from 2000 to 2007. Fast forward 2007, we're doing maybe 10 million revenue, 2.5 million EBITDA. I'm the king of the world. I cannot put one foot wrong. I'm totally certain, like, I master business. I'm so smart and so intelligent. And what can go wrong, right? Like in 2008, when your business is selling software to banks, what can go wrong?
Well, I'm going to say that was 2008.
Yeah, what can go wrong, right?
I remember that day well. I remember where I was exactly.
Yeah, so I'll tell you, most people do. People in banking or banking adjacent business remember it even worse. So basically one day in 2008, my phone rings. It's all my clients that basically tells me, oh, by the way, from that day, we're not buying anything else from you. So on one day, I lost 75% of my revenue.
Wow.
Not so smart anymore, not so brilliant, not the king of the world so much anymore. So that's where I derived my first two like business mantras. One is shit happens. It will happen. It will be bad. The only question is when. And the second one is always have a war chest.
Yeah.
So when I work with my clients, usually the first thing I do is like, okay, we're going to get 9 months of war chest, 9 months of burn rate in our bank account, then we can start growing. Anyway.
That's some good advice. I love that.
Yeah, it's really, and a lot of the advice I give, like people instinctive reaction was, duh. Like, yeah, that's so common sense. I wish somebody told me that in 2005, you know. Anyway, 2008 to 2014, what I call the grind, that was not fun. Like literally having to fire 75% of the company. And if you have founders who listen to you, they will relate to that. You are not Microsoft. When you fire people, it's not just like blanking lines in an Excel spreadsheet. It's people you know their family, they're your friends. They're like, it's a family company, right? And you have to fire all these people, and it's really, really hard. I had to mortgage my house, and every month you're like, okay, am I in a good money chasing bad money situation? Should I shut it down? Should I give up? So it's really was really, really tough years. And then come 2014, we could say by some kind of creative accounting that the company was back to break even. It took me 5-6 years to get back to break even, back to around 10 million revenue, maybe around that, break even, stop bleeding cash, and that's when private equity called. So also for your listeners, private equity call all the time. That's what they do. They call, they have interns that call 60 companies per day and saying, you're a fantastic company, we want to buy you. And obviously most of the time it's just fishing for information. But for some reason, these guys were French, so culturally close. They built their private equity after selling their software business, so they understood what I was doing. So I said, okay, why not? I picked up the phone and they said, we're coming next week to talk to you. I said, okay. And they came, and I've been super honest and transparent with them, which, by the way, it's one more of my recommendation. When you talk to private equity, you don't lie about the past.
Transparency, even sometimes when the things they do not want to hear, but they're going to have to hear it.
Yeah, because they'll find it.
They're smart. They know what's up and where to find it.
Yeah. So I told them the truth. I said, listen, guy, I'm exhausted, and never ever discount fatigue as a factor for a founder. So I'm exhausted. I've been grinding for 14 years now. I'll be super happy to sell. Honestly, I'll sell in a heartbeat, but now is not the right time. Now my company is just break even. It's of no value to you at that point. I'll make you a deal. You come back in 2 years, and I promise you'll get first priority in acquiring this company in 2 years. I won't go through a competitive process. If you make me a half-decent offer, I'll sell it to you in 2 years. do we have a deal? And they say, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to do something a little bit different. You're going to go home. We're going to come back next week. And next week, you're going to show us your business plan or where you're going to be in 2 years. I said, okay. So I came home. I built that business plan. Well, how can I put that nicely? Was very optimistic. So somewhere between best case scenario and pure la la land. And by the way, that's allowed. You don't lie ever about the past, but you're allowed to be optimistic and you're even allowed to dream. So I came back with this business plan. I don't remember the exact numbers, but I think like the company who was losing money for 7 years now, I came with 3 million EBITDA in 2 years or something like that, better than the company ever did, very optimistic. They came, they look at that and they say, okay, so this is our proposal. We're going to buy you now. We're going to give you 11 times what your business plan says for in 2 years. We're going to pay you 85% cash and 15% earn-out. And that's when I thought they were making a joke. Like, obviously, like it was too good to be true. So basically, they made me an offer I couldn't refuse. So I didn't, and thinking like, I'm so much smarter than them. Like, I can't believe they actually pay this money. They're never gonna reach these numbers. Long story short, 2 years later, I end up making more money on the earnout than on the cash. And that's one of the key points with private equity. The list of things they know that you don't is huge. So just for the record, I got super lucky. These guys were good guys. They didn't try to screw me. They've been super honest. They didn't try to, like, even during the 6 months of due diligence that I call like 6 months colonoscopy, they didn't try to lower the price. They've been really decent and honest people from day one, which I learned later in my work. Most private equity are actually. So what they know and you don't know is what they bring to the table. Like they teach you how to be a better CEO, how to run your company better, how to grow it. Anyway, so that's how I sold the company. I sold 77% at that time and fast forward to 2019, 2020, midlife crisis, new country, new life, new wife, new house, new kids. I went to talk to them and say, listen, guys, I'm out. I'm tired. Can you buy my shares back? They make me a super, super good proposal, very honest again. And they sold the company 2-3 years ago for, I'd say, 15 times what they paid it. Mm-hmm. So it's really like a fantastic success story for everyone.
Yes, sounds like it. And a lot of resilience that I picked up in what you shared there. And I really enjoyed, I love the transparency, Alexis, and that is so important. And I guess when you look at your Apex method, when you look at, what that is, and, there's business owners on here right now, they're not yet there maybe, or maybe they're getting close. Why is this so important? If you could talk about what you've learned and what you're now sharing with other leaders and founders and how to lay out this methodology ahead of time, like be proactive. Talk about that 4-part framework, what the acronym APEX is.
Okay. First of all, I am not a numbers guy. I'm definitely not a CFO. I'm not a huge expert in Excel, but I have some kind of common sense about numbers. So after I sold the company and after I started doing my executive MBA in Oxford and talking to entrepreneurs, I was like, shit, they're doing the exact same mistake I'm doing. And talking to them, I'm trying to quantify that. Basically, how much the total sum of my mistake cost me. Like basically, if I started now, what I started in 2000, how will I get richer and faster? And mental exercise, the total sum of my mistake cost me $50 million in 5 years. Which is, by the way, not the end of the world. But it's a pretty decent amount of money that you can... And starting talking to young entrepreneurs, say, okay, how do I help them save this $50 million in 5 years? And I was like, okay, so there is actually a methodology to it. That's why I decided to write the book, because as many entrepreneurs, you can work with 10 entrepreneurs. You write a book, you can help thousands of people, millions one day. Sorry for the segue. Apex is basically, there is a method to the madness. So if you want to exit your company, you need a certain number of steps that are non-negotiable. First of all, the A is assess. So you need to know who you are and who your company is. And you'll be amazed by the number of entrepreneurs who cannot answer these really, really simple questions.
Wow.
First of all, about yourself as a founder. What do you want? Where are you going?
And that is so important. Please talk. I love that.
So important. You getting up every morning at 6, you're getting to bed every morning at midnight, you're exhausted, you don't have enough time with your friends, with your family. Why? What's your goal? I had no idea how to answer this question. If somebody would have asked me this question, I would have needed like a month of thinking before I could answer this. And what is your business? Is it a lifestyle business or is it a growth business? That's like this simple, basic question that will guide everything else you will do. Nobody asks themselves, is your goal to get 1 million per year from your business as a nice car, a nice house holiday, and hopefully when you're old, your kids are gonna take over the business? That's a lifestyle business. That's fantastic. And there is tactics and strategy for that. I think, because I know nothing about this kind of business and I bring no value, but that's valid and honest, but it's different. Am I a growth business? And if I'm a growth business, do I want exit? Because if you grow the business, the ultimate goal is exit or IPO. Well, bankruptcy, exit, IPO. IPO is completely out of my depth. Bankruptcy, not much I can do about it. So exit, when and how much? What's your number? That's one of the first questions I asked, because everybody said, I'd love to exit my company. If somebody make me a good offer, I'll sell now. And what's your number? What's the amount of money that you need to be able to never work another day in your life if you choose so, to be sure that your kids will have a roof on their head? And everybody has a different number, because everybody thinks it's not a universal number. Everybody is wrong. There's basically a universal number that everybody should get to at least, and it's 40 million. Like 40 million, you'll get 5%, you'll get basically 2 million per year, and the taxman will take half, and you'll cover your lifestyle of 1 million, which is a good lifestyle for somebody who grinded for 15, 20 years before they sold their company. So all these basic questions, know yourself, then assess your company. What are your numbers? None of the entrepreneurs I met who are stuck in the plateau, I'll discuss that a little bit later, what I call the plateau. None of them know their company numbers well enough. None. They're like flying a plane and suddenly their GPS tells them, by the way, you overshot your airport by 500 miles. Too late. You need monthly number. You need to have good numbers.
Yes. Or at least leverage resources that are good at giving you that information. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you don't have to count them yourself. You're not an accountant, but they have to come on your desk once a month, and they have to be good numbers.
Yeah.
That's, by the way, one of the reasons I sold my company well, because by accident, I actually did that part well.
I love the transparency is always, I love it.
It's because of my brother, because my brother is very type A and I'm very creative, and the guy say, okay, if you want to...
You two are like you're opposites, but yet you somehow find a way to make it work.
Yeah, he said, if you want to go crazy, you need me to be able to count how much it costs when you go crazy. So who are your clients? Are you talking to your clients? None of them do. They do quantitative customer satisfaction. Do you actually sit with your customer and talk to them? What's your unique selling proposal?
Yeah.
What makes you different? Do you have one? If you don't have one, well, maybe you should, because when you're going to talk to private equity, they would be interested in that, etc., etc. So a whole phase of understanding your company. Then you have your understanding, you have your exit target in terms of number, and you have your exit target in terms of timeline. By the way, if you want to work with me, that has to be less than 5 years. 4 or 5 years. I don't do 10 years plans. I don't have the patience. I don't believe in 10 years plan. I believe in man makes plans and God laughs. So it has to be less than 4 years, 5 years max. And then, okay, so you know where you are, you know where you want to go, then you plan. When you plan is internal growth, external growth, cost cutting. Am I building new products? Am I getting new clients? Am I going to new geography? Most important, when am I starting M&A? When am I starting to buy stuff instead of building? Usually the answer is last year. And all that stuff. You plan all that. Then you have a moment to actually execute that and see that you're trending in the right direction, that you're not lagging, etc. And then the whole exit part is actually very important. You have a phase that I called dress the bride. Like you make your company pretty for private equity. By the way, I almost got canceled by my publisher when I said that because he says it was sexist. So in the book, he said dress the bride or the groom, which is ridiculous. He wanted me to use dress the window, which is ridiculous. Anyway, but people understand is like, how do you make your company look pretty? And it's quantitative, qualitative, like place you stop to invest, place you invest more. Also, what are the buzzwords of the year? Like every year, PE has a different set of buzzwords. Like, how do you make your company pretty? And after you've done that, you start the actual process of selling your company. And I have a process that I always use, which is, first of all, I build a deck. Doesn't have to be a 600 pages deck, like a simple deck, which is, this is what we do, this is what I'm selling, are you interested? And I usually sell it to somebody I know in private equity who's not a potential buyer. So for example, if I sell a company in the UK, I will send it to a PE in France, say, okay, if this one was in France, will you buy it and what do you think of my valuation?
Yeah.
And the reason I do that is I don't want to waste a shot, right? Yeah. Because if I'm far off, I look like an idiot. And the guys are my friend. They say, okay, yeah, no, that's a good deck, but your valuation is completely off. You should be 20% higher, 20% lower, stuff like that. And after I get that, I find 3 to 5 P that are proper target. Talk to them, send the deck, and usually I should have 1 or 2 LOI at that point, at least. And then I start the due deal. That's something that puzzles me, and I don't understand why. I understand it because I didn't do it, but why the hell do you talk to people who are going to give you a 6-month colonoscopy of a due diligence of your company?
Yeah.
You don't do the most basic due diligence on them.
Yeah.
So I tell the private equity, we're going to do 2 things. First of all, we're going to do a due diligence on you. And second, we're going to auction your LOE to a couple other companies.
Yes.
And you do that. And the due diligence on private equity is so simple.
Yeah.
So simple. Like what you want to know, you know you're going to get your money. There is 2 things you want to know in that due diligence. First of all is, are they going to do what one of my clients called fish and chip?
Yeah.
They fish you with a high valuation, and during the due diligence, they chip at that amount.
They chip away, yeah.
And that's terribly efficient strategy. Because you're a human being. For 6 months now, you've been like examined and in your mind, you already started spending the money, right?
Yeah.
Except unless you're me and you actually start spending it in real life.
Yeah.
And then you call. You ask the private equity, okay, out of the company you bought in the last 2 years, can you give me 5 names of people I can call?
Yeah.
I give you 5 names. Obviously, you never call these people. You call all the other ones. You find them on LinkedIn, send a message. Hey, you got acquired by private equity X. How was your experience? Do you mind if I buy you a beer? Do you mind tell me how it went? I'm yet to meet somebody who will not take this meeting.
Take that, yeah. They always like to share. This is powerful information. I know we're getting close to the end of the show, and I want to make sure that if there's anything, I want to have you back for another show where we can continue on this. what can you sum up? Is there anything else with the Apex that you want to conclude before we conclude today's show? Because this is just powerful stuff, and I know the audience is getting value, and they're going to want to hear you more. I wish we had an hour to do this show.
Yeah, that's why, Chris, I don't do half-hour show. I'm not good at it.
Well, here's another thing. We'll have you on another show that I have that is an hour long, and I'll reach out and we'll take care of that. So you'll have plenty. We'll do that.
So this one is a teaser. I want to talk about something for 2 minutes. I want to talk about a specific moment in the company growth that actually led me to start Nightscale. I call it the plateau. It usually happens between 5 and 10, 15 million revenue. At that point, lots of things happen at the same time. First of all, exhaustion. Like, not talking about AI Series F founded startup. I'm talking about companies bootstrapped by actually real people in the real world, actually building shit and selling it, right?
Yeah.
You get to a point, you're exhausted. You don't take the good decision. You confuse what's urgent with what's important. That's a big concept.
Yeah.
Or some people put it, you spend more time in too much time in the company, not enough time on the company.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing, and that's a super easy fix. And the second thing is you get to the point where you need C-level people.
Yeah.
But you cannot afford C-level people. So that's also an easy fix. And other factors, but this plateau is what's very interesting to me and where I think I bring the most value.
Wow. Well, I want to make sure, first of all, I want to thank you for taking the time. We're going to definitely have you on this show for a follow-up. Also, the other show that I do is an hour long, so I'll keep you posted to that. I would love the audience to get to know you. So what is the best way they can reach you, contact you, or anything you'd like to give them here?
The easier is find me on LinkedIn. I'm lucky enough that I have a name that's specific enough that I'm easy to find on LinkedIn. I'm not Paul Smith. So finally I get some value of having a ridiculously complicated name. Find me on LinkedIn, send me a message. Please mention the podcast you found me on, because I got tons of obviously message on LinkedIn. I think it's the easiest way.
Yeah. Excellent. And listeners, we want to make sure that you do connect with Alexis on LinkedIn. Again, you could also, in the show notes, we'll have his information as well. You could also reach out to us and we'll connect you in addition, and take advantage of this. Someone who's done this, has the experience, and now can help you where you are and where you desire to be in your business. And he dropped a lot of golden nuggets here. And again, we're going to make sure that we have a round 2 with Alexis here in the future on another show. Alexis, thank you again for being with us here today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And listeners, we want to thank you each and every week joining us here at Business Influencers. Again, we are committed to your success and helping raise your level of influence in business on an individual and an organizational level. Till then, everybody, have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next week at the same time. Take care.